Hi, I hope you guys are keeping well. We are continuing with the chapter He Who Says No, and this is on page number 105. We are continuing with scene 2. If you remember, this is a story about basically it's a play, and we are talking about a story about the relationship between a mother and her son, and the teacher who's come to say goodbye to this young boy because he has not been to school for a long time, and he's come to say goodbye to his mother and the young boy because the teacher is going on a long trip in the mountains. There's a disease which has come in the village, and he's gone to get some diagnosis and some medicines from expert doctors across the mountain. And during the process, because the young boy's mother is very sick, so somehow the young boy convinces his mother to go along with his teacher. Let's see. So, scene two, great chorus. There's a background music where people are singing about what is happening, what is going to happen, in the play. The men started on their journey over the mountains, and so now we come to know that the teacher and the young boy is not alone. There are other people also who are traveling with them. Among them, the teacher and the boy, along with other people. The boy was not equal to the exertion. The boy was not capable enough to travel or walk as fast as the adults. And, to exertion here means physical activity. He strained his heart in his hurry to return. And then he was, exerting himself too much. He was putting a lot of pressure on himself. At dawn, at the foot of the mountains, he could barely drag himself on. And when it was dawn, when it was about just before sunrise, he had no energy. They would when they reached right at the base of the mountain, from when they came down, and he could hardly drag himself. He could hardly pull himself and walk. So into the room enter the teacher, three students, and finally the boy with a jug. So these are the people who were traveling to go to the mountains. Teacher, we climbed very quickly. There is the first hut. Let's rest there. He said, I can see a hut, and let us just go. Three students will do that. And the other students said that yes, we will also come with you. They step on the raised platform in room number two. The boy holds the teacher back, and the boy just stops the teacher. You know, boy said, I want to say something. The teacher, what do you want to say? I'm not feeling well. And the boy is trying to say that he's not feeling well. He's become sick. Teacher, not another word. Whoever undertakes a journey just as this must not say such things. Perhaps. So he's trying to explain it to the young boy that whenever you are taking such a risky journey, you're not supposed to say such negative things about sickness. And perhaps means maybe you are just tired as you are not used to climbing. Stop and rest a while. So he's trying to say maybe because you're not used to such extensive physical activity. I think if you rest, may probably you'll be fine. And the three students, it seems that the boy is tired from climbing. Let's ask the teacher about him. So the three students that you see in the picture standing at the back, and the teacher and the young boy are talking. So great chorus. Again, there's a background music. Yes, let's ask him. Three students. We hear that the boy is tired from climbing. What's the matter with him? Are you worried about him? So these three boys, our students, are asking his teacher about why are you worried about this boy who doesn't look good. Teacher, he said that he's not feeling well, but there is nothing really wrong with him. He's just tired from climbing. So he's trying to explain that things there's nothing to be worried about. Probably he's too tired because he's young, he's younger than other people, other boys, and B because he has never been to such a long journey. So the other three students reply, then you aren't worried about him. A long pause, and they are quiet. That means, are you not worried about him? Do you hear that? The teacher said the boy is only tired from climbing. But doesn't he look strange? And they are trying to, cross question the teacher. that you're trying to say that he's fine, but then you look different. Right after the hut comes the narrow ridge. There's a narrow, steep, narrow ridge which goes down. It's almost like a V shape. Only by clutching the cliff with both hands can you cross it. So when they are resting and when they get up, after the rest, they have to cross that V shape, cliff. Cliff is basically a crack in between in the mountains, and there's no rope, nothing. You have to hold on to the ridge, to the mountain, to the cracks. We can't carry anyone. Hope he's not ill. And the three students are concerned, and why they are trying to understand, as in what is wrong with the fourth student, is because everyone will have to go on their own. There is no possibility that they can carry someone and do that, because they don't have anything to hold on to. They just have to climb or basically cross that ridge while holding to the cracks of the mountains. For if he cannot go, we will have to follow the great custom and hurl him into the valley. And the three students say there was a custom when anyone had to cross this dangerous journey, that if someone is sick or someone doesn't feel, if you can understand that he's not going to make it, they used to throw him in the valley. Valley is, the space between two mountains before he dies. Basically, they don't want any extra baggage. They can just take care of themselves. In fact, anyone who's traveling, they call down the room, forming a megaphone with their hands, and they're trying to, they're just covering their hands like this, and trying to echo. They're making an echoing voice. Are you sick from climbing, boy? No. See, I'm still standing up. Wouldn't I sit down if I was sick? So these three students are asking, do you think you are sick because you were climbing the mountains? And the teacher and the fourth boy says, no, no, I'm absolutely fine. Can't you see that I'm standing? If I was sick, how could I have been standing? He's trying to justify. Three students, we have to tell the teacher, sir, when we asked you about the boy, you said he was only tired from climbing. But now he looks so strange. He even sat down. We will not be able to carry him over the narrow ridge. We say it with dread that since ancient times a great custom has ruled here. He who cannot go further is hurled into the valley. And they're repeating the same thing. And they're saying that why does this boy look so different? When you're sick, you do look different, isn't it? It is not of exertion. His face has become different, and now he's sitting also. And please do remember that this custom has been going on from our forefathers, that anyone who cannot cross this dangerous ridge, and anyone who cannot cross between the cracks of these mountains, they will have to be thrown, because anyone who's traveling through such dangerous points cannot carry anyone. And they're repeating the same one, that in that situation, that person has to who used to be thrown into the valley. What, you want to throw this child into the valley? The teacher is very upset. And the three students, yes, they said, yes, we want to throw. Teacher, as you say, this is a great custom existing since ancient times. He said, I can't overrule this custom because this has been going on for a very long time. How can I oppose it? But doesn't the great custom also demand that we ask the sick one if we should turn around for his sake? I feel a deep sorrow for this human being. I will go and gently tell him of the great custom. You know, so he's trying to say that don't you think we need to mentally prepare the person who is going to be thrown, or ask him as in what is going on, or what we are planning to do with him? He's trying to say, and the teacher is also trying to correlate that the things that used to happen just before someone used to be thrown in the valley, and particularly I think sick people, when they were traveling. Three students, please do, and they said, please do tell him. Three students, we'll ask him. They asked him whether he demanded that we turn around now for his sake. But even if he demands it, we will not turn back but hurl him into the valley. He said that And this is not something, it is a chorus. This is how the song goes, that the students are going to ask the fourth student whether he should be turned around or whether he should be thrown into the valley. What does he want? I don't think there would be anyone who would want to be thrown into a valley after such a tiring journey. Teacher, listen carefully. Since ancient times, a law has ruled that he who falls ill on such a trip must be hurled into the valley. And he's trying to say, he's talking to the fourth student, that this is a custom. He's trying to explain that this is a custom that whenever someone falls sick in this dangerous journey, he has to be thrown into the valley. Death is instant, and the person dies instantly. That means the moment he hits the valleys or the mountains, he dies. But the custom demands that we should ask the sick one if he should turn back for his say. He said there's another choice, that if you want to go back, if you want to step back and cut short your journey and you want to go back. However, custom also demands that a sick one should answer, you should not turn back. But the custom also says that the sick person should say that he's not going to step back. I understand, the boy said. Yes, I understand. The teacher said, do you say that we should turn back for your say? Or do you agree that we throw you into the valley as the great custom demands? So he's asking, what do you think we should do? Should we throw you? Or do you want to step back? Boy, no, I don't agree. He said, no. Teacher, calling from room 1 to room 2. Come down here. He did not answer as the custom demands. So he's calling the other 3 boys. He said, please come, because he's not answering as per the tradition. He who says A must also be B, must also says B. If you're saying that you should be turned back, you should also say that you should be thrown into the valley. This was a custom that, okay, I don't want to step back, so I want to be thrown into the valley. So the person has to agree. And when you were asked before whether you would agree to everything that might happen to you on this trip, you said yes. And then the teacher is trying to reiterate whatever he said at the beginning of the journey, that that whatever happens or whatever he is asked to do, would he agree? And that time the student said yes. Boy, the answer that I gave was false. He said, the answer that I gave was wrong. But your question was even a bigger false. He said, your question is falser than my question. He who says A does not have to say B. He's like, if someone is trying to say, okay, I'm fine, I'm stepping back, I don't want to continue the journey, that doesn't mean that he has to say B also. B means, okay, then why don't you throw me into the valley? He can also realize that A was false. He said, maybe that person realizes that even A was false, that stepping back from this journey was wrong. I want to get medicine for my mother. He's trying to say that all this is because he wants to justify that he's gone on such a dangerous journey, because he wants to get the medicine for his sick mother, who's very, very sick at home. Remember, he could not go to school also. But now that I'm sick myself, it's no longer possible. And the boy is trying to say, no, that is also not possible, because I am myself sick. But now that I'm sick myself, it's not possible. And I want to turn back immediately now that things have changed. And he's trying to say, I want to step back. I don't want to go on this journey because even I'm sick now. So I ask you to turn back and to take me home. And I'm requesting you to please take me home, because I have an ailing mother and I'm also not feeling well. Surely your research can wait. And he's talking to the teacher and the other saints, because they have gone to find a diagnosis, a treatment for the disease which has come in the village. If there's something to learn over there, as I'm sure there is, then it can only be in a situation should as ours now, we should be able to turn around. And he's trying to explain that if you think that when you go to the big city, if you will find a cure for the disease, that can only happen in a situation like this, where you can turn back also, you can refuse to do things. He's trying to correlate his experience with the onward journey. which was as difficult as this. They were going for a very dangerous journey, and maybe the journey was more difficult when they were proceeding, when they were going ahead. And as for the great ancient custom, I see no sense in it. He said, there's no point in following this custom. Rather, I need a new custom, a great new custom, one we must introduce here and now, the custom to give each new situation a new thought. And he said, why don't we give a new solution to every problem? Why are we sticking to the same solution for so many years, that if you cannot move forward, you have to say that I cannot move forward, but at the same time, you have to accept that you should be thrown in the valley. He's just trying to give an explanation that this solution is illogical. Three students, what are we to do? What the boy says is sensible, even there is no heroism in it. He's like that, how can we do it? Even though this boy is not very brave and courageous, but whatever he said makes a lot of sense. They can understand it. Leave, teacher. I leave it up to you to decide what to do now. But I must tell you that people will hurl laughter and disgrace at you if you turn back now without completing your journey. So he's talking to the students. He's trying to say that I don't know what are you planning to do, but this will be an insult and people are going to laugh if you step back from the journey. The three students, isn't it a disgrace that he speaks for himself? He's like, isn't it insulting that he's speaking, he's defending himself? He's talking about himself. He's trying to save himself. Teacher, no, I see no disgrace in that. Teacher says, there is no insult in that. The three students. Then we'll turn back and no laughter and no abuse shall keep us from doing the sensible thing. He said, this is a very sensible thing. He's sick. His mother is more sick. And he wants to step back because he's sick and he wants to get back. And he's requesting us to take him back home. So I think that makes more sense rather than looking at why people are going to laugh. He's trying to, the students are trying to compare two situations about which one is more sensible and which one is more serious. People laughing at them when they go back to the village because they could not complete the journey, or taking him back because he's also sick and he wants to go back to his ailing mother who can die anytime. They can say which one is more serious. And no ancient custom shall keep us from agreeing to a valid thought. He said no custom can stop us from doing something sensible. Lean your head on your arms. Don't strain yourself. We will carry you carefully. And they said, don't, you can lean yourself and we are going to carry you back home. And then again, the song goes, so the friends took the friend and established a new custom, and there was a new law which started, and a new law that they brought the boy back, because this was the first time ever in the history of these mountains that a young boy was brought back. Because usually, if anyone was sick earlier, he would be thrown in the valley, and he would die instantly. Side by side they walked, pressed together against the abuse, against the laughter, with open eyes. And while they were coming back, holding this young boy, everyone was insulting them. Everyone was laughing, and they bared all that, they bore all that, just for one cause, that his mom is sick at home. With open eyes, they did not close, they faced it. And no one more cowardly than the one walking nearby. And there was no coward except the one who was walking and laughing at them. They were more coward than these four people who brought this young boy back to his mother. So that is the end of the chapter. And we'll do some question answers now.